Hi everybody, it's Giselle from Kids Yoga Stories here. And we just got an email from Tracy asking about what's the best way to use our yoga books. So I thought I'd get on here and talk to you about some different ways to see if that might be helpful. Now, if you are in a situation where you're going with a group of children just for a yoga story time, the way I do it is I explain to the children, boys and girls, we're going to do something really special today. I'm going to read you a book. However, in this book, what makes it special is you'll see in the corner of the pages, you'll see a little character doing some yoga poses, and they'll ask them, how many people practice yoga? What do they know about yoga? That kind of thing, and it opens up some dialogue around that. I also talk to them about the theme of the story. What do they think the book's about? So we talk about how we're going to act out the things that we see and do in the story, right? So it's the same pre-reading strategies you would use for any book. Now, when you get to the pages where there are poses, if you're just going to read the book one time through in a story time situation, absolutely have the children practice the poses with you. So you're down there, you might be sitting in your chair reading your story, but you get down and you practice the poses with them. Obviously encourage them, move around the room. Same thing you would do in a regular yoga class. So that's how I would do it if it was a yoga story time. However, if you have the children over a period of time, definitely the books are designed. I used to be a teacher, so with a teacher's mind, you could try, for example, with the Rachel's Day in the Garden, if you use the yoga cards, these are garden yoga cards, or make up your own or whatever, but you could isolate the poses. So you could say, let's look at a couple of the animals today you might see in the garden, for example, and let's do a couple of those poses. And then you might do some other garden activities that are involved with other subjects. You might write about it. You might listen to some garden music. You might go out in a garden, a field trip or whatever, right? Or do a brainstorm, different garden animals or things you see. Then you might want to, another day, introduce the garden yoga flow. So there's 5 poses, and you take the children on a little mini flow. So that's building on what they saw and learned about gardens, and now we're going to put that into movement. Okay, and then another day, then you might introduce the book, and you might just read the book, right? And you might just read Rachel's Day in the Garden and talk about what they experienced and what they saw, how they felt, what the senses were, like that, what the colors they saw. And then the next time you might read it and say, you know what, we're going to take it a step further. We're actually going to act it out. And go like that. So it really depends on what your situation is, how many children you have, what age you have. It's meant to be flexible to fit your needs. So with my daughter, for example, she knows that our books, she always knows the books in her room are from published from me, because she sees the little characters in the corner. So she knows, she calls it a moving book. But we don't always move every single time. We might just sit and cuddle and read it together. So it's really dependent on you, and hopefully that's helpful. Feel free to share below how you use yoga books, and let's try to put some of these ideas together. Hopefully that was helpful, Tracy and everyone else.